My mind is clearer now. At last all too well I can see where we all soon will be. If you strip away the myth from the man, you will see where we all soon will be. Jesus! You started to believe the things they say of you. You really do believe that this talk of God is true. What's up, everybody? So I thought I'd entertain you with a little snippet and hopefully make a point with a little snippet from one of my favorite musicals, Jesus Christ Superstar. It's a rock opera, for those of you that are not familiar with it. I think the music is phenomenal. I think it's very well written. I think it's very powerful. I think it evokes a lot of images, which is what it's really meant to do. Obviously, if it's, especially with it being laid against one of the longest lasting and most well-written passion plays put to paper. And this is a response, by the way, to Vocal Brush. How you doing? But I wanted to make a point with that. She mentioned the music aspect, how someone had given her shit because she wrote a song that had a religious connotation or had something to do with God in it, and somebody attacked her for it. And that's fucking nonsense for someone to do, because that music is it's one of those things. We have such a crazy we've got this chemical and biological soup just going on, all these processes that are going on in us, which is a laundry list of topics for another video. But these chemicals in our brain and these things that fire, and they evoke these emotions and these images, and that's what music really does. It plays on that, and it can be a beautiful thing. But me loving the music, even the movie, the original score to Jesus Christ Superstar, doesn't make me any more of a theist than it makes Vocal Brush for writing a song about maybe an experience she had or something in her life, and it had a religious connotation to it. That's just, to me, that's ridiculous. And I think a lot of what her video was addressing was the anti-theist. But there are, I'll touch upon atheists as well. I mean, I consider myself an atheist. It's on my channel. I don't, I won't claim otherwise. But at the same time, and she mentioned labels, not liking. I don't think anyone likes labels. It's one of those things where once you put a label on something, you compartmentalize it, and people don't want to feel compartmentalized. And labels, just like anything, words just have a tendency to evoke images, and you get a picture in your brain, and that can be beneficial or detrimental depending on what it is. So I think that's a lot of the reason people don't like labels, because they don't want to feel like they're being compartmentalized that way. But you can call me an atheist. I call myself one. But I think I've run the gamut as far as my emotions are concerned, and I've evolved as a person, not necessarily, as an atheist, but as a person, as far as when I first came on YouTube. Because it's true, man. There's such a plethora of information and just this huge network of people with YouTube and all of these other sites that you can get onto and really get into some very serious discussions, good, bad, or ugly. And I've evolved as a person as far as how I deal with people, religious or not. And it's really been great. I mean, I've found it to be so helpful and resourceful and things like that. But there are a lot of people out there, anti-theists that see religion as a disease or a mental condition, and that's kind of silly. And as far as I see it, I can't speak for anyone else. But there are atheists out there as well, and I try not to. I try not to be a pretentious ass, but there are atheists out there who like to play. There are some armchair intellectuals out there. There are people that like to play the intellectual, and they'll rattle off some what they consider to be something very smart or clever, and it's really just these buzz phrases, and there's not a lot of substance to it. And I think that goes on both sides. I mean, there's some evangelicals out there that they get my mercury up, man. They get my blood boiling for some of the things that they say. But it's that way on both sides of the fence, I mean, we need to smash that fucking fence, right? We're all in it together, But this is, unfortunately, it's kind of that's the collateral damage of talking about religion and things like that, man. You get stepped on, and it happens all the time, But I personally, for somebody who is an atheist, I want to be a live and let live guy. I don't want to change someone's belief system. It's not my intention, because I wouldn't want that impressed upon me. I look at my son, Gavin, who's 20 months now, and I think about, I thought about before when he was younger, and before he was even born, I thought, there were times when I thought, yeah, I'm not, I refuse to have any kind of indoctrination. I'm not even going to throw any, quote unquote atheist propaganda at my son either. I am going to try to teach him, my wife and I, who happens to be she considers herself a theist. I call her an agnostic because it's really more along the lines of what she is, even though she can't even really identify herself. I don't mean that to be rude, but she doesn't. She's kind of a deist / agnostic, but we want to be open with our son. We want to talk to him about everything, but I want him to be reasonable and logical, and I want to teach him to use critical thinking skills to question. It's not something, I don't want him just to take something on someone's words, man. It's just not how it works. But I thought myself, I don't want this to be exposed, and I don't want that to be exposed to him. But that's my baggage. That's not his baggage, man. That's mine. He's 20 months. He doesn't know anything about anything. He doesn't have prejudices yet. And I don't want to place prejudices on him that are my prejudices that I'm going to lay on him. That's not how I want to do it. But anyway, I just wanted to respond and say thank you, Vocal Brush, for the mention, and thanks D.W. Vincent for the kind words in the comment section. And I appreciate it. And if anybody wants to have a conversation with me at any time, man, feel free to hit me up. So, peace.